Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, Blurtstars, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the Blurt.
We acknowledge the First Nations peoples of this land, the traditional custodians, and pay our respects to their elders past, present, and future. We recognise the ongoing impacts of colonisation and the importance of a voice to Parliament to ensure the sovereignty and self-determination of First Nation peoples is respected and upheld. We commit to working together towards a just and equitable future for all Australians.
Good evening. I am Keely, and tonight I'm coming to you from Wurundjeri country, the Kulin Nation of the Woiwurrung people. Sovereignty was never ceded, always has been, and always will be Aboriginal land. It's the 8th of August, 2023, and it's 12 past 8 on a balmy Tuesday evening, and we're back, baby!
Woohoo! It's been a couple of weeks, but hi, I'm Wency, and I am respectfully coming to you from the traditional owners of the land in which we work and live, the Aghh and Turrbals people. Sovereignty was never ceded. Welcome back to the country, my friend.
Look, it's nice to be back. I mean, the first thing we did when we walked through the door, we just went, well, I like this hotel.
You got better internet there too, by the sounds of it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But to be honest, the internet we had wasn't too bad. To be honest,
Okay.
It's funny. We always pick the same little place. It's just a dodgy little place. When we go back to Christchurch, we've stayed there quite a few times. It's sort of cheap and cheerful, and it's super close to the city. But if anyone's ever been to Christchurch, they'll know you don't have to be very far out to be super close to the city.
Right.
So
it's a small city, isn't it?
Well, I'll tell you how small it was. I was walking with my daughter in the city, and it was quite funny because she kept asking me, "Where's the city? Where's the city?" And I kept having to explain to her, we are actually in the city. They call this the city. Look, just keep your voice down.
Where are the buildings? I'm not seeing high rises.
So, well, that's it. I had to point to a couple of shops, and I said, look, there's a shop there, and if you walk around the corner, there's a few more shops. And don't say it too loud. They like their city. But no, look, don't get me wrong. It's very, as I said to you before, it was beautiful. Like the sun was out. Freaking freezing cold, but for the first 3-4 days it was really, really beautiful. You could see the Alps from Christchurch quite well. See, that's the other thing. You see, not having skyscrapers, you can see the Alps quite easily from the city.
Nice, bit of nature in the middle of the city. In inverted commas, for those listening.
Yes, inverted commas. But it's a nice little city, and but I tell you what, though, honestly to God, I mean, there's only like 4.5 million people that live there, etc. But gee whiz, their property's expensive. It's it's phenomenal. Some parts of Christchurch, you're just like, Jesus, where did these people get their money? There's only 4.5 million on this little island. What are they doing to make so much money? Because some of the houses are just ginormous.
Wow.
Admittedly, I think, as I said, we're in a cheap and cheerful hotel, but it's in a pretty nice part of Christchurch.
Yeah. Nice.
Yes, there's some.
If it wasn't for the earthquakes, I'd consider moving there.
Yeah, well, I mean, now we've had a few down here as well, so.
No, you've had tremors. You haven't had earthquakes. Tremors. We went through that a few weeks ago.
That's exactly right. No. That's exactly that. But you know what? I mean, seriously, what bushfires? I mean, seriously, the bushfires that we're probably going to get this summer, are they any worse than earthquakes? Really? I mean,
yeah, in terms of impact. But yeah, I'd rather
be burned to death and fall down a crack. I don't know. Yeah,
don't know. Either way, they're both not fun experiences if they're on the extreme end.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So yeah, no, it is a lovely place, and people are usually pretty much always nice, and but it was good to come home too, and lots of nice people in the coffee shops I've been in since I've been back, and just nice people. So so it's been good. And then
And I need go on. No, you go
for
first.
Okay. The other half just left for the UK today as well for 3 weeks.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah.
For work or
so
pleasure?
She comes back and then she's off again. Well, she's visiting her dad.
Yep, as I thought.
So that won't be as much pleasure as it could be, because it's better than average chance that he won't remember who she is. So
yeah, that's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And we all know how bad Alzheimer's can be, or dementia. Is it one of those that he's got?
Yeah, it's advanced dementia. Yeah.
Advanced dementia. Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty sad. I know I haven't gone through it with anyone that I know, but I know my mother's sister's husband, so one of my uncles, went through it a couple of years ago, and it was pretty horrible to know how his last year or two of his life was, and it's pretty very, very sad.
Yeah, no, look, it is, and there's plenty of organisations to sort of help you with support through dementia, if you've got dementia in your family as well. So if anyone's listening to the podcast and this has brought up anything bad for you, make sure you get in touch with those. Have we got any numbers that anyone
got? The usual Lifeline, Men's Line, Kids Helpline, and Beyond Blue.
Yeah, maybe.
Don't have any for dementia, but yes. No.
But anything that's that if it is, if you're feeling a bit uncomfortable, definitely get in touch with Lifeline, etc. And my heart goes out to you, because we know how bad it is. And the worst part is that they're there and they're functioning and they can do things, but you just basically see the person in front of you just slowly but surely disintegrate.
Yeah.
And
that's one of the heartbreaking parts, isn't it? Where that they've just don't even recognize who you are, and you can't converse and remember all the good times and things like that, because that in their mind they're not recognizing you.
Yeah, no, look, absolutely. But thank you for asking. And so basically the time was a good time in Christchurch, and good to be back. And also just to wrap up, me totally, hand's good. Hand is
excellent.
Ready to rock. Can't even see the scar. So we can sort of see it just there, but it's not much.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
good
not much.
It's back in action.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's just the other one that's sore now, but that's fine. That's being old and trying to sort shit out. So
I thought it was because you were overcompensating with the left hand while the right hand was out of action.
I'm not going anywhere near.
I was not going down that path. I was just talking generally.
Right. Okay. That's all good. Well, with that, I think we should do this, because something that we have not done and we have not touched on the show yet, and we definitely 100% should. We need to get on the Matilda bandwagon.
Yes, we do.
We do. So I think the first thing we should do is just play this, because this is pretty cool.
Stadium, Australia, for Tuesday's round of 16 match against Denmark. And the Combank Matildas fielded an unchanged lineup from the side that defeated Canada. They absorbed early pressure as the Danes enjoyed a flurry of half chances. Comfortable in defence, the Matildas were given the opportunity on the counter-attack, and they were lethal.
Farah here can get Australia moving. And Caitlin Ford scores for Australia.
Was not even offside.
79,000 people to watch that.
Well, you've seen those fly crazy into the far corner on more than one occasion.
And in the second half, that threat...
It was. I didn't actually Go for it. So go for it.
I was just going to say Mary Fowler was the player for
keep
me, the best player of the match. She's just so good at reading the play and passing when she needed to, like in one of that last goal. So yeah, I found her one of the best players on the field.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think Sam Kerr got on just at the end, and as we know, she's meant to be pretty much the best women's player in the world. So, and I also found out that the favourite for the tournament, I believe, was the US, and they're gone.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, look, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But
yeah. So who knows how much? Oh no, hang on, not who. We know how much the US team was going to win, because remember in the last episode we talked about their new contract, so they still earn a bucket load of money. Probably, I can't remember the numbers, but $250,000 just getting this far.
That. Yeah, well, they got to the 16, so I can't remember what our scale was if you get to the 16.
Yeah,
but,
they got decent coin, but yeah, not the glory.
No. Well,
speaking of the soccer match, have you heard that if we get into the finals, our illustrious leader Albo is trying to get a public holiday?
Yeah, and look, so he should. I mean, I think that's a brilliant idea. You know, the less work, the better. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
That's pretty much how I always look at it.
Not good.
You know,
we agree, as a contractor.
We agree with that decision.
Sort of.
No,
I don't get paid on public holidays, unfortunately, because I'm a contractor. So
yeah, that's
do I want
right.
it? I'd still support it and still enjoy it.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. But yeah, look, it'd be interesting. It's funny, isn't it? Anytime we win something, we think we should have a public holiday. It's lucky we don't win too many things, or we'd never get any work done. Seriously.
Exactly. It's such an Aussie thing to do, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's it's interesting. Very interesting. Tell you something else that's pretty damn interesting as well. People that are dying from mushrooms.
Yes, I did hear about this during the week.
And this isn't even magic. Yeah, it's very sad, actually. It's not even magic mushrooms. And I've got a little bit of an anecdote with this myself anyway, because a good friend of my dad's years ago went mushroom picking, and he thought he knew what he was doing. And he cooked them up, fried them up, and he was in critical he was in intensive care for the critical unit for quite a while.
Wow.
He came out of it, but when he came out of it, it was like he was basically, he'd had a stroke.
Oh, wow.
And unbelievable. No, he did not.
Wow.
And
you know which mushroom it was? Was it a death cap, or I can't remember the other one?
Well, the thing is, right, there's some mushrooms that look, I mean, so stupidly similar to the ones that we eat that are cultivated and properly cultivated with, you know, spores, etc., in hothouses and, well, not hothouses, but, you know, in regulated areas. They know what they're growing type thing. And the only real difference, especially if you're not wise to it, there's like the minutest, sometimes it can be bigger, but there's like the minutest tinge of yellow. And
okay, so it's the color that gives it away.
Yeah, but it looks so much like a normal mushroom. It's this tiny bit of yellow, and so ever since that happened to my dad's friend, because I grew up picking mushrooms. I grew up going mushroom hunting all the time. I grew up in the country. We mushroom hunted all the time. So, but I could only imagine that maybe there wasn't as many toxic mushrooms around because the environment was in a better state. I don't know. I'm not sure. Or maybe we were just lucky. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly. And I don't know how these mushrooms transport themselves, or whether it's man-made who planted them somewhere, or whether they just happen naturally. Don't know.
Yeah, mycelium spores from fungi. I mean, it just spreads so easily. You know, it's really not hard at all. So I don't think so. But what's interesting is that there was about 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 people died, and they're all pretty old, which is interesting. They're all, I mean, not old. I mean, I want to live longer than this, but 66, 68, and 70. And that's sort of, I think that's around about the age that my dad's friend did the same. So I think he's still alive, but he's not in great health. I know that.
Yeah. So those people, I think, where was it, in the East Victoria somewhere?
No, south. I think southeast Gippsland or South Gippsland. Leongatha.
Okay. Yeah.
Leongatha.
Yeah. So
Great-
3 of
great
them
golf
died,
course down there.
and one of them is still in critical condition.
Intensive care. It's 100% right.
Okay.
And the person that let me have a look at you. Detective Inspector Dean Thomas said the woman was separated from her husband, but police have been told their relationship is amicable. Thomas said the people who died present with symptoms consistent with eating death cap mushrooms. She cooked those meals. So they're saying that the woman, they're still questioning and investigating what's happening, because they're saying that she hasn't presented with any symptoms, but we have to keep an open mind in relation to this, that it could be very innocent, but we just don't know at this point. So but yeah, so that's pretty terrible. That's not good at all.
And if it was innocent, it would be
and just to give you an
devastating
idea of what the death. Oh yeah, for sure, because people have lost loved ones. It's pretty horrible, especially when they wouldn't have thought they would have. So that's the death cap there.
Wow, yeah. And that
for anyone on the pod, we'll put the. Yes, that one is decidedly yellow. Why you would even think about eating that, I would never know. But anyway, so yeah, people, if you're listening to this or watching this, never ever pick your own mushrooms ever. No. Not even when you think you know what you're doing, because
just pick them from the supermarket.
Yes, do that. I know it's a little bit more expensive, or you can get a box of spores from Bunnings or from Mitre 10, or you can get them online and grow your own mushrooms. I've done that before. We've grown the oyster mushrooms. Yeah. So it's pretty. As I say, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Got a message here from a friend of mine in the US. Hi, James. I got to look that up.
Hey, James.
Do you think the Herald Sun Times has some good info? We can definitely put that up on our show notes at the end of the episode.
We can. Just so you know, James, you might have been out of the country for a little while. Herald Sun Times doesn't exist. It's only called the Herald Sun. But
true.
But between you and I, James, I would look up any other source of information before you went there. But that's just
hint. The Guardian and ABC News. Try those 2 sources.
Yes, absolutely. They are very good sources. So what have we got here? We've got the Deputy Chief Officer of Victoria, Angie Bone, issued that's a real name. Issued a health advisory on Wednesday warning death cap and yellow staining mushrooms. That's the ones I was talking to you about before. Yellow staining mushroom varieties were currently grown in wild in numbers. And this isn't just in Victoria, it's right across Australia now. Victorian Health Department advice comes just over a month after a similar warning was issued in the Australian Capital Territory when a child was hospitalised after ingesting a death cap mushroom. So, yeah, it's not just Victoria. It's unfortunately it's everywhere. So, I'll tell you something else, not apropos to this, but I'm getting a little bit concerned. I mean, I'm looking at a time, and I realise our banter has gone for a little while as usual, but I just want to get this out. We didn't even get to some of the other banters we wanted. But anyway, fire ants. Have you been following the fire ants story?
Yes, they are encroaching over
because it's
to
a
New South
shitload
Wales
closer
border.
to you than it is to me. So
Oh, definitely. Very relevant to me and us here in Brisbane, southeast Queensland. They are slowly marching their way south, and I heard during the week that there's some have been discovered in Melbourne, traveling, so they must be hitchhiking all the way to Melbourne. So watch out. Hopefully the cold will kill them.
Well, I hope the cold does kill them, because
Mm.
I was reading the other day that they're not expecting to get to South Sydney until about 2035.
Right. Yeah. So the Queensland government, state government, has finally decided to put more effort into and funds to try to eradicate them. The opposition have said that they've been too slack in trying to control their movements
I
over
would
the last
totally
few
agree with
years.
them. I would agree with the
So
opposition there. They have.
yeah, yeah. So I haven't kept up too closely with the news, but yeah, that's as far as I know. But yeah, hopefully whatever measures the Queensland government does now, hopefully they just go in there and just nuke them somehow and just control them.
If no one knows what we are talking about here, we're talking about fire ants, and what they are. They don't actually kill you, but they do. If they sting you, it feels like you're on fire. But the worst part about the fire ants is they don't just do it once, etc. They have a whole bunch of buddies to help them.
Yeah. Are these the
So
ants that if one bites, the others go, okay, we better attack as well? And that's
yeah,
why
yeah, they
they're
jump
dangerous?
on. Yeah,
Yeah.
they jump on. Like their swarms are just ridiculous, and they've been in the States for years, and they haven't been able to control them there, and they've been in the Texas and all those sort of areas.
Yeah.
I read about them years ago. Oh, Vicky just sent something through. Thanks very
Okay.
much, Vicky.
Have we got the message up? There we
Yes,
go.
we do. And apparently, they prefer warm weather, but they can survive in cold weather just fine. Yeah, that's great news. Thanks for that. Yeah, brilliant.
Just what you need. Let's hope they
Yeah.
let's hope they don't survive down there, but especially
Yeah, I
the
know.
really cold winter days.
I mean, Jesus crikeys. I mean, wow. We've got crocodiles, sharks, snakes, freaking deadly spiders, you name it. Now we've got these freaking fire ants as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. Seriously.
You guys don't have deadly spiders down there. We have them.
Yeah, no, we
got-
do. Have you heard of a
Oh, the
have you heard
redbacks.
of a redback? Yeah.
The redbacks, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I
Yeah.
think I've told this story before, but we used to catch them in when we used to live near Broadmeadows back in the day when I was about 8 or 9.
You
Catch 'em in
caught.
jars. Yes.
You caught redbacks.
Yes, we'd get a jar and catch them and then put another spider in there, different spider, and then see who won.
That's the most disgusting thing I have ever heard, and I do not endorse that, because that is cruelty to animals.
It is.
With that, I am going to a break. I'm sorry. It made me.
I apologize. I was a young kid.
The Australia Institute produces high-quality research that has real-world impact, whether it's revealing the $10.3 billion in fossil fuel subsidies provided by federal and state governments last year, or our long-standing research advocating for a federal anti-corruption commission with real teeth. We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
Did you know a single blood donation could save up to 3 lives? Be the lifeblood of Australia. Join us and search Give Blood to book your donation with Australian Red Cross Lifeblood today. Give life. Give blood.
Now I've recovered from that last bit. Anyway,
Apologies.
No, it's all good. We didn't even say what a rundown for the show tonight is. We just went straight into the band. There's so much to talk. Oh, mate, just so much to talk about. And we're going to have Joke of the Week at the end as well. So if anyone joined us before, always a bit of fun with Joke of the Week. And we've got callers on the line, and they can write in with their jokes if they want to. No problems at all. We will show them if they're funny.
Yes.
And usually they have been way funnier than ours. Anyway, so tonight we are doing Indelible Indigenous and What's on the Box. And I believe it is Indelible Indigenous time now. Is that correct?
It is correct, Mundo.
Okay, beautiful. Let's rock on then.
In 1967, we were counted. In 2017, we seek to be heard. And we invite you to walk with us in a movement of the Australian people for a better future.
Over to you, my friend.
Alrighty, so Indelible Indigenous, as you all know, we're all supporters, you and I are both supporters of the Yes campaign for the Constitution change, which is the proposed law where they want to alter the Constitution to recognise the First Peoples of Australia by establishing an Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. Just in the last few days, there's a little festival that happened in East Arnhem Land in Northern Territory. You may have heard it. It's called the Garma Festival. It is quite renowned now, where lots of politicians turn up and also international guests often turn up most years. But it started in 1999 by the founding members of Yothu Yindi. And before I continue, to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander audience members that might be watching or listening, this segment will contain some names of deceased persons. So just be aware of that. So the founder of the Yothu Yindi band, the Yunipingu brothers, created a foundation back in the mid to early 90s. Then they created the Garma Festival, where they where it was a gathering to talk about issues that were affecting First Nations people. The foundation is a group of 5 regional Yolngu clans, which is in the East Arnhem Land, and those regions were or are Gumach. I hope I pronounce these correctly. Gumach, Rira Tinju, Japu, Galpu, and Wanguri. So they're the 5 regions that form the foundation. And Garma in the local language is a term for two-way learning process. So the idea of the festival was it was a dialogue between First Nations and those who attended to talk about the First Nations people, like I mentioned earlier. So within the festival, there were things, what they do, it comprises storytelling, mini teach, which is art, so they present art, manike, which is song or singing, and bungal, which is dancing. They also do some film screenings, cultural workshops. There's a youth forum. They even do astronomy tours and other events that to highlight traditional things that the First Nations did over the millennia. So it's
what's insiders in Indigenous language?
Insiders.
Yeah, because the Insiders was up there too as well.
Ah, were they? I
yeah,
didn't know that. I've been so busy last weekend, I didn't even get to watch it.
And Q&A the day after.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, once again, too busy. Did you watch them?
Yeah, I watched both actually. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Must have been pretty entertaining and thought-provoking. And
yes, very thought-provoking, and it's really interesting you say that, because the second one, the Q&A, which was done by Dan, I can't remember his surname, but he has, yeah, that's him. He's got an Indigenous background, and he actually does a really good interview show on the ABC. Actually, it's called something. I think it's something to do something elders. I can't quite remember exactly what it's called, but it's really, really good. And I want to catch up with it on iView, because I've heard some really great interviews with them before. But anyway, they had Marsha Langdon on, and they also had this, I can't remember the guy's name. He's a journalist, writer, and sort of activist, highly intelligent. And then they had a lawyer, Indigenous girl on, very young, super smart, just super smart. And then they had an elder on, and I can't remember her name either. But she was a representative of a clan of, I think it was called the Dillik clan. I think.
Okay.
Up in the Nyonu region.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or country, I should say. And so so it was really, really interesting. And what I think was even more interesting was how militant's a hard word, but very vigilant in not agreeing with voting yes was the journalist writer. I've heard this guy speak before. He's super bright as well. And when I listen to his reasons to why he doesn't want to vote yes, I can understand from an Indigenous point of view why he would feel that way.
Right. Do you know, or can you explain to us why? Because I'm trying to find the reasons why the No campaign have reasons to think that way and do that and vote that way.
Okay, so basically, we've got in the No camp, we've got people that don't know, and at the moment they're not really thinking about voting, but they sort of will when they need to. Then we've got people that are just dead set, outright racists. A lot of Pauline Hanson, /Spud voters.
Yeah.
But then there's also these people that are voting no, and the reason they're voting no is they're pretty much on the Lydia Thorpe sort of bandwagon. In that they're looking at treaty first, and the reason before voice. Treaty first and then truth, etc. But he was saying very, very eloquently that what concerns him about the voice is that it will be such a toothless tiger for the Indigenous that it will be a waste of time and effort to not do anything. Whereas if we didn't do it, we could get on and do something else that will make a practical difference, like fight for the rights of the Indigenous in a different type of way. It was very much a more militant stance on it, and this guy is a real hardcore climate activist as well. So,
can I counter that with? Can we see the details of why?
Yeah, definitely. No.
From these people, we keep hearing, "Oh, we want to know the details of how the yes will work and the body of people with in Parliament or however it's going to work." But from a no perspective, what are the details to say? All right, if we don't have a voice, what are the mechanisms that we're going to use to help the First Nations? Things that we've tried and just don't work now.
Look,
so what's new?
Absolutely, and I agree with that as well. And that's why I'm really torn. I'm definitely voting yes. We're definitely voting yes, but this show's definitely voting yes. But and we encourage all our listeners to do so, but we also encourage them to read the Uluru Statement and listen to what the Indigenous peoples have gifted us and asked us to do as 97% of Australians who aren't Indigenous. So the other thing he was talking about, and he's spot on as well, is that he was saying that the government or the Parliament doesn't have any power anyway. So if they get a voice, big whoop, because they're still in the pocket of fossil fuel investors, fossil fuel magnates, and now the American military as well.
Yeah, I can see that
with AUKUS going forwards, etc. That's what I mean. And I was you know, I was listening intently, just going, I'm sorry, I can't argue with that. So,
yeah,
I'm still voting yes, because I still feel that in the long run it can and will help, and they discussed treaty a lot as well. They talked about how many treaties are happening around Australia, and as we have alluded to in the show before, Victoria has one of the furthest down the road treaties, but getting really close to getting some good things out of that. And they already have a citizens' assembly apparently
in Victoria.
Yes.
Okay.
And they got a second round of voting. Like, they've already voted for all the representatives of that assembly, and now they're coming up for a second round. So so it can definitely work, et cetera, and I believe we just need to get on and do it, basically.
Yeah, so as you alluded to, there's a lot of academics, government officials, and other stakeholders who attend the Garma festival, and one of the key things is the Garma Key Forum, where they talk about important issues. So historically, that's what the Garma festival is about. Over the years, we've seen Prime Ministers Tony Abbott, Malcolm Turnbull, Albanese attend. Opposition leader Kim Beazley visited in 2006. Tony Abbott, this is the funny part. If you want to
when you say
Abbott,
when you say Abbott, I can never think fun in any way, shape, or form. So
no, other than when he bit into an onion, that was pretty funny. Dickhead, but funny. So Tony Abbott attended the 2013 festival, where he pledged to become the Prime Minister for Indigenous Affairs.
He was so good too.
He was so good at it, just like he was for women. Minister for women.
Yes. And the first thing he was talking about was something about he was trying to get them from out behind the iron or something.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
it was pretty sexist. It was pretty thoughtless and sexist. So.
Exactly. Opposition leader Bill Shorten in 2017 attended, where he announced Labor supports a voice for Aboriginal people in our constitution. We support a declaration by all parliaments, and we support a truth-telling commission. So this was obviously a couple of years after the Uluru Statement.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what else can I tell you about it? In 2018, Deputy Chair of the Yothu Yindi Foundation, Dr Yunipingu, called for the government to engage in truth-telling and reconciliation, to embrace an Indigenous voice to Parliament, and to move towards treaty making. So obviously all of this stems from the Uluru Statement of the Heart, because that was the document that says, here are the things that we believe that we've all agreed to, as all the clans, all the mobs from around the country decided to do. So this is what I don't get, why there's so much opposition against what they all discussed for many weeks and months back in 2014 and 15, I think it was. 2019, a senior Jumanj leader reiterated that Yolngu's wishes for greater recognition. Last year, Albo unveiled his proposed voice referendum question. So it's been running for 24 years, -1, because during COVID, I think they skipped 1 or 2 years. So, but yeah, this year's festival is a little bit. Go on.
The Garma Festival.
The Garma.
No, the Garma Festival. It's been going for 25 years.
Yes.
No, you said Garma Festival. Yeah.
Okay,
cool. I was just asking.
Yeah, 24 years, 1999 to now, 24 years -1, I think it was. This year's festival was a little bit somber as well, because participants mourned and honoured the legacy of Yolngu leader, Yolngu elder and leader of the Jumanj clan, Yunipingu, who passed away in April this year. He'd spent most of his life to land rights movement, and trying to get self-determination for his people. So there was a lot going on this year, and yeah.
How old was Yunipingu when he died?
74.
Oh, okay, that's sort of an average life for a man almost.
Yeah,
so
for a man, yeah. So he lived a longer than average life.
Yeah, so that's good. But I mean, he obviously had advantages, and he got those advantages from himself as well by with his band, etc., etc. So
yeah,
but actually, a couple of things I do want to say about Dr. Yunipingu, because he was a doctor, and he was also, as you said before, he was a famous musician, and he was known for his beautiful songs in the Yolngu Matha, the language of his people in Oko Island. He was also a passionate advocate for the preservation and promotion of Aboriginal languages and cultures. Some of his achievements and works are, as we know, he was the lead singer of Yothu Yindi, and he performed with lots of world leaders too. So he actually performed with Queen Elizabeth II,
oh, wow.
Barack Obama, Nelson Mandela.
Nice.
And he released 3 solo albums, Gurumul, Rakala, and the Gospel album. I've heard Gurumul. That is a magnificent album.
I think I've heard that one.
And he collaborated with artists such as Sting, Elton John, Delta Goodrem, and Paul Kelly. As we know, Dr. Yunipingu's work with a testament of his talent, vision, and spirit. He inspired many people with his music and his message. He was a genius and a wonderful human being. Now, I've never met the man, but he did very much sound like that anytime I heard him speak. So, he, definitely a good egg.
Definitely. He's left a good legacy, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely has. So, now talking about a legacy, I'm just checking our time and I'm going, okay.
Time check.
Absolutely. So, did you have anything else you wanted to say regarding the Garma Festival?
No, I think I've covered as much as possible in a short amount of time. But yeah, I'll have some notes, obviously, in the show notes, or some links that if you want to read up more about it and get more detail. But yeah, this is just a little teaser, taster of what it's about.
Yeah, no, excellent. And yeah, we'll definitely make sure we've got the Garma Festival links in the show notes as well. So all good. Look, we'll be back in a minute with a bit of what's on the box. So stick around.
Yeah. I'm not hearing anything if you're playing.
It's on Tuesday nights, live around 8 p.m.
Yeah, I might just for the...
Hey, this is Hannah Melville Ray from the Australia Institute. I'm listening to the new Blurt with Wency and the Kexter, and you should be too. It's on Tuesday nights, live from around 8 p.m.
Hi, it's Ashley Fizame here, and you're listening to the new Blurt with Wency and Kexter.
Bit of a blast from the past, but Ash will be with us in September sometime.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so we've got lots of good stuff happening. Maria Taflaga will be popping up in the next couple of weeks, and Joa Pierre will be with us in the next month or so. She's in the Fringe at the moment, killing it apparently. So that
Edinburgh
cool.
Fringe.
Edinburgh Fringe, yes.
Awesome.
Yes, so that'll be cool as well, and we'll get Ash back on. And as you alluded to the other day, we're going to have, is it Mark?
Mark Pacini from Dancing with the Black Dog organisation, joining us just before Are You OK Day in September. So September's a busy month for us.
It is. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. It's going to be awesome. As is...
Hey there, get this crazy man off the streets!
Notice, but Lately, I've been drifting aimlessly.
Oh my God. Will you stop changing channels and just tell me what's on the box?
Speaking of the box,
yes,
I don't think I've ever asked you, where are all those grabs from? One of them's from Friends?
Yes, one's from Friends. I think one maybe from Lost in Space or something.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
There's some other ones as well. I can't off the top of my head. I couldn't tell you, but I will find out and tell you next time.
Yay, homework.
Wow. Talking about homework, my homework was to review Oppenheimer, the film, which I duly did. And I can say it was absolutely awesome. And I have a little trailer here, and hopefully it'll play. So let's just check it out.
Hang on a sec. Hang on before you go on with that.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
James has asked or is mentioning one was the Jimmy Fallon show.
Yes, you're right. You're 100%. Yes. No, you're
well
spot
done,
on, James. Spot on. Spot on.
You get an elephant stamp.
Yes. No. Well, no. We're in Australia. He gets koala stamp. What are you talking?
Koala stamps. Yes, that's so true.
Absolutely. All right, so we'll just check out Oppie the trailer, and then I'll come back and give you what I thought of it.
Okay.
This is a national emergency.
Detonator charged.
We're in a race against the Nazis. And I know what it means if the Nazis have a bomb.
We have a 12-month head start. 18. How could you possibly know that?
We've got one hope. All America's industrial might and scientific innovation connected here. Secret laboratory. Keep everyone there until it's done.
Let's go recruit some scientists.
Build a town, build it fast. If we don't let scientists bring their families, we'll never get the best.
Why would we go to the middle of nowhere for who knows how long?
Why? How about because this is the most important thing that ever happened in the history of the world?
You're the great improviser, but this you can't do in your head.
Are we saying there's a chance that when we push that button, we destroy the world?
Chances are near zero.
Near zero.
What do you want for theory alone?
0 would be nice.
This is a matter of life and death. I can perform this miracle.
World War II would be over. Our boys would come home.
That's happening, isn't it?
The world will remember this day. Our work here will ensure a peace mankind has never seen. Until somebody builds a bigger one.
You are the men who gave them the power to destroy themselves. And the world is not prepared.
To know what to do. What's next?
1.
It's one of those films that is absolutely as good as it looks.
Yeah, it looks
it's
cinematic. Pun the pun.
It
is in the cinema.
No, that's the fun. Yeah, no, look, that's the fun part about it. It does look cinematic from that trailer, and it's a 3-hour movie, right? And I can tell you, if you are not enthralled in dialogue, which I am, I love dialogue, especially when it's good and it's presented by people that are amazing actors like Cillian Murphy and Matt Damon and Emily Blunt. And if anyone doesn't know where that Matt Damon comes from, that comes from Team America. If you don't know what Team America is, look it up. It's very, very funny and wrong.
I know what it is. Never seen it.
Yes. No, it's very wrong. Don't watch it with your kids.
No.
It's it's a Trey Parker Matt Stone, which is a South Park vehicle. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's so good. It's just so good. Anyway, in it they have a puppet that goes Matt Damon all the time. Don't ask me why. I don't know why, but he does. And I'm sure James probably knows about it. One of our listeners from tonight, who is in the US. If he's seen Team America, I highly recommend it. It's very funny. Anyway, I get away from that. So Matt Damon is awesome as usual. But Cillian Murphy is sensational. If you are a Peaky Blinders fan, which is a fantastic Netflix series, been around for 5-6 series now, absolutely brilliant. It's about what's it called? It's not Brixton. It's starts with B, and it's Birmingham. In the 20s or 30s, or maybe even before that, I'm not sure. But they used to have these razor gangs. So these Irish gangs would have a razor in their cap.
Oh, right, okay.
And that's why they were called Peaky Blinders, because they get their cap and. Yeah. Anyway, he is
anyway.
Yeah, not good. So anyone that knows about Peaky Blinders will know how good Cillian Murphy is. He's absolutely sensational. And if anyone is a Christopher Nolan fan of Batman movies, etc., they'll have an idea that this will be a big movie and a very good one. And it is. Emily Blunt is in it, another one of my favorite actors. She's excellent in her role. Florence Pugh is in it. She's a young actor, about I think 28 or something. I mentioned that for a reason, and I'll tell you in a minute why. But yeah, it is an incredible cast, no doubt about it. And Gary Oldman is in it. But you
was
only
Richard
see
Branagh in that?
Yes, he was. Richard Branagh.
I thought I saw him in the trailer. Yep.
He plays. I should know the character he plays, but I can't quite remember. But he's just very good as usual. And Rodney Downey Jr. is in it, and he plays an integral role in the film.
Okay.
And that is very much a political bent on it. So, long story short, the whole thing about Oppenheimer was that after, if anyone doesn't know the story, I'll be really quick with it. Basically, Oppenheimer and his project called the Manhattan Project basically came together it was meant to be in the middle of nowhere, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Without spoiling too much for those who may not have seen it.
Yeah, so I'm not spoiling too much. This is just the history. And they built the town, etc., and there's lots of sort of turmoil with doing that. I'll explain to you in a second why. But anyway, long story short, he gets a whole bunch of scientists together from around the world, and they eventually get the know-how to build the atomic bomb, the one that was dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And as we know, it did a lot of damage and basically stopped the war, but killed a lot of people. And the worst part was that it basically started an arms race.
Yep.
That's one of the biggest things about this film that sort of comes through with Oppenheimer, etc., that he never wanted to do that. At least this film depicts that. So probably 4.8 Blurtstars from
Oh,
me.
that's pretty high.
Yeah,
I still haven't seen it. I so want to see it, and I'm going to try and watch it.
I absolutely
one of these
loved
days.
it. It's a 3-hour watch, and
Mm.
then you may have trailers on top of it, so you're really strapping in for a while.
I thought you were going to say you may need to have you may need to wear some nappies or something for the toilet break.
It's a very, very good call. I watched a Russell Crowe film years ago. I think it might have been The Insider. I think that goes for nearly 3 hours. And I remember I was in Canada at the time, and the only reason I bring that up was because I remember vividly because I was having pints of beer just before. I think I must have had 2 or 3 or something. And watching this 3-hour film, it was the most painful thing.
And of course, once you break the seal,
well, I didn't. That's the whole thing.
Oh, you didn't? Oh,
no,
right. I thought you went
was
several times during the movie.
No, not at all. I did not. I nearly floated. I nearly floated to the toilet. I can tell you that.
You didn't leave a trail as you left the cinema at the end of the movie?
There was no trailer left at all. But the one thing I do want to say though is there's been a bit of controversy about Oppenheimer because it's not 100% true to things that happened.
Yeah, I've heard something.
Yeah, so one of the things was the neglect of the history and the impact of the Indigenous Americans at Los Alamos, which is where they build. Some activists have pointed out the film ignores the displacement and exploitation and environmental damage that the Manhattan Project inflicted on the native people who lived there. That is not depicted in the movie. They've depicted that no one was there, which is probably a little bit of poetic license, I would say. They've also talked about the age gap between Florence Pugh and Cillian Murphy, so they sort of get together in the movie. That's the characters they play. Murphy is a few years younger than us. He's just under 50. He's 47. And as I said before, Pugh's about 28. So there's been a bit of the old perpetuating the Hollywood trope of pairing older men with younger women as they've done for years and years. Yeah. So, and the last one was that the use of the Bhagavad Gita, a Hindu scripture, during a sex scene. Some of the Hindus in India have called this scathing attack on Hinduism, and they've demanded the removal of the scene. Now, the scene itself is he'd been introduced, Oppenheimer had been introduced to Sanskrit, the ancient Indian language, and as a teacher in Berkeley years before, so more than 2,000-year-old Bhagavad Gita is part of the Mahabharata. Anyone who wants to change my pronunciation and effectively make it better, that would be great. One of Hinduism's greatest epics at 700 verses, the world's longest poem. So apparently it's known in history that the father of the atomic bomb, i.e. Oppenheimer, relieved his tension by reciting the stanza he translated from Sanskrit, which was, in battle in forest at the precipice of the mountains, on the dark great sea, in the midst of javelins and arrows, in sleep, in confusion, in the depth of shame, the good deeds a man has done before defend him. So he used to recite that before he would basically test an event.
Right.
That was a sort of like a meditation for him. So, but anyway, that's So that's Oppie, and so I would highly recommend.
4.8 out of 5.
Blurtstars. Yep.
Well done.
Highly recommend.
Nice one. Need to go watch it.
Yeah, definitely.
Still a lot of sessions out there, so I've got to.
Get
there if I can find time.
Now, I'm looking for a bit of fun now. Show me about fun.
Okay.
Right.
Alrighty. I am going to review the other blockbuster movie that we talked about.
Up to $1 billion now. Up to $1 billion.
Oppenheimer. So Barbie was my movie of choice, and wasn't reluctant. I definitely wanted to see this, and boy, was I glad that I saw it.
Oh, okay.
It was really, really good. So Barbie, for anyone who is unaware, or if you've been hiding or whatever,
under a rock or been in prison
under a rock,
for
yeah,
years.
for 50 odd years. Barbie the doll has been made into a big blockbuster movie starring big stars like Margot Robbie, Aussie, go Aussies, Ryan Gosling, America Ferrera, Kate McKinnon, who's a comedian and actress, and she's funny in this movie.
SNL.
SNL, yes, true, yep. I think was she in Bridesmaids? I can't remember.
Kate McKinnon's been in heaps of stuff. She's
Yeah,
awesome.
she has.
She's so good. So good.
Also stars Simon Liu, who's Shang-Chi in the Marvel movie. It's got Will Ferrell, Rhea Perlman from Cheers fame from the 80s, I think it was. It's got a killer soundtrack as well. Got Pink by Lizzo, Dance of the Night by Dua Lipa. You got tracks by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice. That's a duo. Never heard of Ice Spice. I do know Nicki Minaj. Charlie
I know
XCX.
Nicki Minaj far too well.
Won't go there. Billie Eilish is on the track. We've got Tame Impala, Aussie band, or Aussie guy, I think, as a person. I can never remember whether Tame Impala's a one or two people band.
I'm an old bastard. You're talking about modern music. I got no idea.
Ryan Gosling sings a track. Who's perfect? And people, if you're not aware, Ryan Gosling was in La La Land.
It's got good voice.
Good voice. He knows how to dance.
Yeah, sure does.
Is funny. Hence the title underneath here.
Yes, I am Ken. Anywhere else, I'd be a 10.
I'd be a 10. That's from that song that he sung. Dominic Fike is also there. Haim, Sam Smith, another Aussie artist, the Kid Laroi, Khalid,
yes.
Pink Pantheress, Ava Max. Man, the list goes on. So lots of great music. Basically, the story, Barbie lives in this perfect world, ends up traveling into the real human world, discovers certain things. The world's out of order. Ken discovers that it's a patriarchy in the real world, but it's a matriarchy back in Barbie land, and he's conflicted. And there's lots of other things that happen in between. There's lots of great messages. I'd love to read you the whole script of one of the characters, Gloria, who's played by America Ferrera. But she basically, this monologue of her explaining why women, what it's like to be in a woman's world, I guess.
Maybe somehow you can get it links, show notes, or stick it on a slide or something.
I can read a little bit of it. I won't read all of it because it's more impactful when you actually watch the movie.
Yeah.
But one of the ones, one of the sections was, for example, in her monologue, you have to be thin, but not too thin. You can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but you also have to be thin. You have to have money, but you can't ask for money because that's crass. You have to be a boss, but you can't be mean. You have to lead, but you can't squash other people's ideas. You're supposed to love being a mother, but don't talk about your kids all the damn time. You have to be a career woman, but you also always be looking out for other people. And there's other topics that she goes and talks about, and you just go, yeah, the struggle's real. We need to improve this. And yeah, so there's a big message that a lot of the younger women or girls will relate to, and I hope we do improve.
Well, what about younger boys? Would they?
Definitely for boys, we need to show them that, we do need to explain to boys that we need to behave better, and so that,
well, we've got someone who's agreeing with you that seems to have very similar last name to yourselves.
Okay. Can I put that on? No, you did put it on. Sorry, I didn't see that.
You took it off.
Yes. Sorry. Elijah. Hello.
Yes. America Ferrera's monologue was so powerful. Yes. So from Elijah was just letting us know that as well. So stop keeping this in suspenders and let's have a look at this trailer. It looks like I'm going to have to go and see Barbie this weekend, I think.
Yes, you please do. But here it is.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Hey, Barbie. Can I come to your house tonight?
Sure. I don't have anything big planned, just a giant blowout party with all the Barbies and planned choreography and a bespoke song. You should stop by.
So cool.
You can find me under the lights, diamonds under my eyes.
This is the best day ever. It is the best day ever. So is yesterday, and so is tomorrow, and every day from now until forever. You guys ever think about dying?
Yeah. How to kill the mood.
When my heart breaks.
Some things have been happening that might be related.
When my world shakes.
Cold shower, falling off my roof, and my heels are on the ground. What do I have to do? You have to go to the real world.
You can go back to your regular life, or you can know the truth about the universe.
Weird Barbie.
The choice is now yours.
The first one, the high heel. You have to want to know, okay? Do it again.
Closer I am to find. Closer I am to find.
I'm coming with you.
I love this song.
Wow, this
It's
is the
been tough.
real world. What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
Barbie in the real world. That's impossible.
If this got out, this could mean extremely weird things for our world. This would be catastrophic!
We haven't played with Barbie since we were like 5 years old. Oh.
No one rests until this doll is back in a box.
Even if nobody else sings along.
Humans only have one ending.
Get that Barbie!
Ideas live forever.
No, I won't let you do just one appendectomy.
But I'm a man.
But not a doctor.
Can I talk to a doctor?
You are talking to a doctor.
I need a clicky pen.
No.
A sharp thing.
No.
There he is. Doctor!
Somebody get security.
Is Barbie if you're still in doubt?
So great movie. Lots of funny bits. Got a comment here from Vicky. I've seen Barbie twice. I cried both times. Some seriously important messages for everyone to recognize women and men. Absolutely right.
So the number one question is how many Blurtstars?
I might go 4.9. It was near perfect for me. It was that funny. Yep. It was really funny. It was worth watching. I want to go watch it again because it was that funny and it's good to watch on the big screen. Speaking of money, you alluded to it before. Warner Brothers Pictures announced just on Sunday that the movie's taken in $459 million from North American cinemas and another $572 million overseas over the weekend for a total of, get this, 1.5 billion Australian or 1.03 billion American, which is the most that a female director has ever earned from a movie.
Yeah, I've heard that. I did.
Yeah, so the movie isn't also had a little bit of controversy. Vietnam's banned the movie because it depicts South China Sea and the islands, the contested islands.
Oh, wow.
So there's a little bit of controversy there. So I might have to bootleg it and send it to our friends in Vietnam to watch it if they're keen.
Nice.
But otherwise, yes, definitely worth watching. I'm trying to convince my sister to go watch it. She is just opposed to it. I don't know why, but I'm going to try to convince her to watch it.
But that's the beautiful thing about this Barbie. You know, they say if you hate Barbie, this is the film for you. If
Yeah.
you love Barbie, this is a film for you. So, you know.
Yeah.
I've never been necessarily a hater of Barbie. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
Of Barbie. But if you reckon, I mean, the thing is, you see, I know that Vicky's seen it twice, and I know she's a very intelligent lady. And she has said how much she loves it. And then I've got two very intelligent ladies in my life as well who both gave it 2.5.
Really?
So,
wow.
Yes. So
Amazing.
I'm conflicted, but you know me, I always make my own mind up. So I shall go and see it this weekend.
Do watch it and let us know next week if you do.
Yeah,
watch
no,
it.
I will. I will definitely go this weekend. 100% for sure. I will definitely go. Yeah, I can't not see it, especially after seeing that trailer, because that trailer makes me laugh. That's really good.
And there's a lot more funny parts than what you see, because I'm not a big fan of watching trailers because they give too much away. But there's definitely a lot more to that movie than that trailer.
Again, that's the beautiful part about Oppenheimer. You saw 3 minutes; it goes to 3 hours. So you know, you're not getting a lot. And that's the funny thing too about that trailer. You see that trailer and you go, "Oh wow, all this stuff's going to be happening." No. 2 hours and around about 15, 20 minutes is full on telling you the whole story, and you get the whole drama. And if you like that, that's awesome. I do. I love history, and I love sort of being told a really well told story, really well acted, etc. And then things unravel, and then you get to, explosion time and, really tense moments, etc. But you definitely don't see it all in the trailer. Absolutely not. There's so much that happens. So, but talking about funny, I reckon it's time for this time.
My brother-in-law was addicted to the hokey pokey. It was a rough couple of years, but he turned himself around.
Joke of the week.
It is time for that. So, why don't cats like online shopping?
Don't know.
They prefer a catalog.
Dear. What creature is smarter than a talking parrot?
A talking parrot?
What creature is smarter than a talking parrot?
What creature is smarter than a talking parrot?
A spelling bee.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Kids have some of the best, don't they, really?
Oh, they
Seriously.
do.
They do. What's a cat's favourite song?
Puss in Boots?
No. Three Blind Mice.
No. Why did the drum take a nap?
Why did the drum take a nap? Why did the drum take a nap? I don't know. Why did the drum take a nap?
It was beat.
Oh, that's... How did I not know that? Seriously to God. What do you write in a rabbit's birthday card?
I don't know what you write in a rabbit's birthday card.
Well, I'm going to give it one of these because...
Haven't even heard.
Hoppy birthday.
Oh, dear. We got one here from Vicky, so let's show this one.
Yep.
She says or asks, where do bad rainbows go?
Where do bad rainbows go? I give up.
I don't know where bad rainbows go.
Here
we go. To prism. It's a light sentence and gives them time to reflect.
Oh, that is sensational.
Where's that?
No, that's sensational. That's a work of art.
A good one. Yeah.
That is a work of art. Beautifully done. You should be doing this show. How do you get a squirrel's attention?
Give it some nuts.
Nearly. Act like a nut.
Okay. Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? I think we need some thinking music here.
Oh, I wish I had some. I'll have to do
I
that.
could see you being very pensive there.
I was actually. I was indeed doing that. I don't know. Why?
Why shouldn't you write with a broken pencil? Because it's pointless.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Did you hear about the constipated accountant?
Had a pen up its clacker?
No. Had to work it out with a pencil.
Why couldn't the pony sing?
I'll go on.
Because it was a little horse.
Very good. Very good.
I've got one more.
Like
one more. Last one.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
A British man is visiting Australia. The custom agent asks him, "Do you have a criminal record?" The British man replies, "I didn't think you needed one of those to get into Australia anymore."
Very good. Very, very good. Look, thank you, everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you, James. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, anyone that is listening on the pod. We've had a fantastic time, as usual. Thank you, Wency. Brilliant work. I will see Barbie this weekend. I can't wait to. We will be back next week. And as usual, we don't know what we're going to do yet, but ittle be good.
Yep,
and
we'll work it out 10 minutes
we
before
will.
the show.
We will. a little bit more time than that.
A bit more than that, but yes.
But anyway, the potty will be out. This weekend. You normally schedule it Monday. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. The Monday.
Cool. It'll be out on a Monday like it normally is. And also check it out. We'll probably have a mini ep maybe of the Barbie Heimer experience that could be out in a couple of days as well. So just check your pod feeds for that as well. That's enough for me. I'm gone. I'm out of here. See you, Wency.
See ya. Thanks, Vicky, for your message. Thanks, fellas. See you next week. Ciao.
Thanks, all people.
Bye. See you all.